as it's you, Dan, let's kick off by going a bit off the wall, away from Hardline and away from your thing of building trails and riding and racing over the years. What does Dan do for downtime? What outside of mountain biking do you get up to? Bernicke, he's into his old cars and likes going out for a coffee in his old Robin Reliant he's got now, and he's obviously into his motorbikes. Brayton's into fishing. Another one of the many boys like Titley and that are into fishing. What do you get up to?
Driving the digger.
Yeah, very therapeutic. Probably the world's best Xbox, aren't they?
Yeah, it's pretty chilled. But yeah, there's not much downtime, to be honest. Flat out every day. I think coming from being an athlete where you have a lot of downtime and you're forced to have downtime because you're training hard, stepping away from that was always something that I struggled with as an athlete. So now I don't have a lot of downtime really, pretty flat out all the time. But I guess just being alone and just having no shit around and just chilling out listening to music. Yeah, literally, if I'm not digging or riding, then I'll be led on the sofa asleep.
What's on the playlist then? So you're away in the digger or you're on the couch listening to tunes? What's been on the playlist? You boys have always been big into hip hop on that, haven't you? I remember that from back in the day.
Yeah, and not just that, just like I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and stuff recently, and we're trying to open the bike park. There's a lot of involved with that, so just trying to move from like just having like a rider's head to trying to step into business a little bit more. And as a rider, I guess a lot of riders handle that themselves, but we've always been kind of managed, so we've always had Brownie there for that. So kind of I'm forced now to try
desk time basically, isn't it? I know doing the work in forestry and that, the amount of desk time doing all your paperwork to be up to scratch with that stuff.
It's hard.
Loads of that.
Change your mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's something like when Tracy Mosley went from riding on a manufacturer's deal to sort of essentially privateering, doing enduros and that, she was like, one of the biggest shocks to the system was just all the back of house stuff that goes on that. And now, obviously, you're seeing that. So you're sharing that workload with Dan, are you?
Yeah, Brownie's still flat out, definitely. He still does all the team stuff, and there's no way I'm far from a businessman, so I can't, and I'll never be. So there's no point kidding yourself. I can only do what I can do. So yeah, Brownie's still like imperative to all of that.
Right, yeah. So back to the subject at hand then, Red Bull Hardline. It was your brainchild. You spent loads of time on this hill prior to Hardline, riding and practicing in years gone by. What's your role been this week then? You were saying you sort of considered racing, but it was a calculated risk. You're obviously responsible for keeping the course up to scratch over the weekend.
Yeah, I think I wasn't going to ride, but then me and G did some testing up here a few weeks ago and felt pretty good on my bike, and I felt good on the course, so I thought, I'll if it's dry, I'll ride. So all through practice was pretty dry and I felt okay, felt good on the jumps, comfortable. But then, when it comes to a wet race and all I was doing anyway was trying to get down the course. So you throw in mud and rain and conditions with the wind, and I need to calculate the risk these days. I'm too old for that.
Yeah, I can relate to that, dude, that's for sure. Other responsibilities, and that's just a nightmare being broken and fixing on it. But so how many hours in the digger? I mean, like I've built trails, I maintain trails up in Scotland. I know what it's like grafting with the tools and seeing the boys on the machines. But how many hours have you put into this now? Have you clocked it?
Into Hardline?
Into this trail, this one track.
Yeah, it's not been too bad. I mean, a lot, but if you compare it to like the bike park that we're building, it doesn't even enter the scale,
So tell us a bit more about the bike park. I was chatting with Brownie yesterday about it, and we've certainly seen some of these trails in various video edits going about. I think Rob Warner rode with your sister on one in particular.
Yeah.
That would be memorable. So how long have you been building over at Dovey there now, and when's the bike park due to open?
Yeah, it's coming up to 4 years now, so if you compare, Hardline, we spend probably 6 weeks of the year building it. So you compare that to 4 years, and you kind of get a scale for what the bike park's going to be like. It's a lot of work, and as you know, building a bike park needs to be a hell of a lot better quality of track than Hardline, because obviously your riders aren't as good, so they're not going to be able to deal with the same kind of that's thrown them as the world's best riders, and also you're getting a lot more traffic, you know.
That's right, yeah. I was going to say all the stuff that I work on, 7 Stains land and that, is so robust to deal with that, and you've got a flat of the rider's skill set. Something I noticed, I walked the course yesterday with Greg and Rob. Something that was very different in this is you seem to get thrown through a feature and then you're into a turn that in bike park terms would just be way too tight. Obviously the elites can handle it and know how to deal with those turns, but if you were building that in that bike park environment, that's just going to get blown out in no time. So from that note then, thinking about yourself as a rider and your years of experience, you can make a track work. How's that been? Have you really struggled, or what the challenge has been to adapt to building a bike park for riders of a lesser skill set?
Yeah, I think, like you say, it is different. They're not as strong upper body, so the corners can't be as tight and as sharp. And yeah, they do get blown out. So I've had to learn myself really, and I am still learning. Definitely, I've got a hell of a lot to learn about it. I've never done anything to do with bike parks, so it's going to be a learning curve for me for sure. I've only ever done events and races and stuff like that, so yeah.
When's the opening date? Have you got a planned opening date yet for this?
Nope.
No, we're going to keep that under wraps till now, but certainly I was chatting with Brownie yesterday and he said he was going to invite us up, so you can tune into IMB magazine.
Yeah,
we'll
exactly,
be some of the first on
Keep
it to
me
get
posted, yeah.
And what we'll do is we'll get you guys up to Scotland and you can come out and look at some of the technical side of 7 Stains with my colleague Andy Hopkins, who does a lot, well, he's the technical director for mountain bike trails in Scotland now, so it'd be grand to get you boys on the floor. Well, I appreciate your time, Dan. It's been really great talking to you, and good to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, and
cheers,
you, bud.
Man. Thanks.